this is today we're talking an album from our personalized lists. I believe the co-host Graham was bringing us today's entry, In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Yeah.
We had this at the apologies for sounding. This is our first repeat episode of another band that we.
That's right.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
We've ever done. So
That's correct.
OK Computer and now In Rainbows.
Yeah, and I'm positive I droned on about this in the last episode we did on this band, so I apologize for that. But what is their genre? Radiohead.
I mean, they're kind of their own thing.
I know.
Like, especially as they went on.
That's a great question.
That is the first thing I wrote listening to this.
Yeah.
Things that I can't categorize, I call alternative.
Yeah.
But I just can't see
I feel like
this
nobody
as,
would call them alternative. Yeah.
But like...
I mean, indie.
I had experimental when I was trying to think of stuff.
But it's like too...
Polished
to be
complex,
indie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know if you can fit them in. I mean, it's...
I have no clue.
Yeah. I mean, lots of different elements.
I just spent, before I even really started trying to dig into the songs themselves, I was just skipping around on this album trying to think of like how I would describe them, and I put down electronica for In Rainbows.
I was going to say they pull from so many genres, which I think is what makes it hard to...
Yep.
Like... From album to album and also from song to song.
Yeah.
And I mean, even part to part in songs.
Yes.
It's like, how do you...
Yeah.
There's no way.
And that's kind of what I like about them. It's always very original sounding and just like...
Such a unique compilation of sounds.
Yeah. I feel like that's what they're trying to do. Like I read about this album, they were like, we just wanted to make like a 40-minute statement of just everything that like moves us. And like... try to
say that is exactly what this is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, electronic influences, some soul influences, which I can see on certain songs. Like they were talking about Al Green a little bit. They're into jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, early on, especially, they were into, some rock stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they are like a rock band.
Yeah.
Or they at least started as that. But yeah, they're just kind of Radiohead.
Yeah.
To your point about some electronic 15-step, that intro, I was like, man, this has a really electronic sound.
Yes.
That crackle.
I remember this from OK Computer, like the just most crisp sounding drums.
Yeah.
I mean, like so crisp.
Yeah.
I like it.
Unnaturally so.
Unnaturally crisp.
Are you a fan of it?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's very like distinctive. Like, okay, I know that's Radiohead.
Yeah,
I've not heard that sound elsewhere.
I really liked it.
I don't even know how to describe. It's crisp, but like I want to describe it further than that. I just don't know how to.
Tight.
Yeah.
Like very boxy. I don't know. Like,
it's like the sound is like it's there and it's immediately past.
It's so dead. There's no
echo. There you go.
Yeah. And you get that on Weird Fishes too.
It reminds me of like just some pad pushing under like a drum skin and it hitting it and it immediately being dead, but it's like super full in the hit.
Yeah.
Like that sound right there.
Yeah.
Didn't carry any. Yeah.
I know, and I'd imagine that their process is just so painstakingly like detailed, trying different microphones, different rooms, different like.
I think they've got it down by this point.
Oh, yeah, but still, they're constantly experimenting.
Yeah, true. Pushing the envelope.
I was laughing my ass off reading the behind the music bits for this album. They were, and I'd forgotten that they did OK Computer at St. Catherine's Court, out in, I think, Bath.
Ooh,
yeah.
In this one, I'm pretty sure they were like they did the full caravan club experience. They were all like living in trailers while they were out in some like country house recording this album.
I remember like they were saying the ceilings were like leaking and like it was very rough.
Yeah.
Like for at least some of these songs. Like they did this album in a few different places, but they're Tom was quoted saying like their producer gave them a swift kick up the arse because I guess they were taking a long time on this album. Like they were on like a 4-year break before this came out in 07. Their previous one was 03.
OK Computer was the what was
Hail to the Thief, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Either that or Amnesiac. I
have no
want
idea.
to say it's Hail to the Thief in 03. There's a 4-year break where they kind of did their own thing, solo stuff.
Back on that 15 step, there was like a really dark twist around 1 minute and 40 seconds that I loved.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, this, I like this.
they're all about those twists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it. And then that like little organ right there at the end. It's like an organ outro.
Yeah.
Like real brief. To your point of just a bunch of weird different sounds. It was like, okay, there's an organ.
Yeah.
What had never happened to me before was I actually had to stop listening to headphones on this album because I would find myself just not writing anything, just completely like
too focused on one thing.
Just hearing it was so immersive and so crazy.
Yeah,
how much goes into these songs, and we'll get into the production of some of them and how they're songs that are like played on top of each other during these versions, and it's just there's so much in there that it's almost like it was kind of overwhelming the first time listening to it. I never heard this album before.
Yeah.
I'd heard some of OK Computer before. This was completely new to me.
Yeah.
It was, there was so much to write, but at the same time, it made it very difficult to dissect each song.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for Graham. As I would say you're a pretty avid Radiohead fan.
Yeah.
Do you like Body Snatchers?
Because
I feel like that's not very Radiohead sounding.
I know it's.
I could see that pulling somebody in that has never listened to Radiohead and them not liking anything else.
Yeah, like it kind of goes back to their early days. It's
reminds me of Muse.
Oh yeah.
Weird way. The, like super distorted bass.
Yeah, very fuzzy.
I loved it, honestly.
I like Body Snatchers. It doesn't have a ton of like variety, but like it's kind of fun. Like there's kind of different guitars happening in both ears, and
I like how it just lets go at 2:10.
Yeah.
And it's like all that distortion, it just like gets peeled off the song.
Yeah.
And it's like then it's just stripped down clean. I was like, ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
They do that. I feel like
really
they've
liked
done that kind of through the years.
Yeah.
Like OK Computer has some of that stuff.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. That's my favorite when it's just unexpected turn.
Yeah.
Perfect name for a
Body
song.
Snatchers.
I got creeped out listening to this one.
Yeah.
Very creepy vibe.
Yeah, it's kind of the most straight up song on the album.
Very digestible.
And Tom York, his vocals kind of remind me of like Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols in the song.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just kind of the yelling and kind of different for him. Yeah, I like it.
Nude was, since there was so much background noise in the car, I was like, I hope I'm not missing anything on this, but
it's so quiet.
Real dreamy strings, and
Yeah.
the vocals were real, just all falsetto sounding.
Yeah.
Super laid back.
I love this one.
Kind of that outer space vibe.
Yeah.
I got some OK
Some
Computer
spacey
flash.
feel.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
The bass is just huge on this one. Like, definitely listen to this one when you're not in a car.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's kind of soulful too. Like, I think, it definitely has that spacey thing, but also like the falsetto and kind of the groove is weirdly kind of soulful. Yeah, and this is a weird Radiohead song. Like, I don't feel like they have another song like this.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
The theme is very Radiohead, though.
Yeah.
If you read the lyrics and we
Sure.
won't dwell on that.
Sure.
We covered this. It's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that we went through in OK Computer.
Yeah. More lobotomy stuff.
No, not that specifically.
Yeah.
Just kind of it's the dull malaise of like suburban life.
Yeah.
Just kind of becoming like sort of like desensitized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like
Nude's the perfect title.
Yeah.
Weird Fishes.
Favorite song on the album.
I was gonna say Graham made me listen to this a couple months ago. Yeah, I really like this song.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Favorite
call.
Favorite on the album.
I'm gonna say that it is my favorite as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it is definitely.
I heard this. This was one of those times where I could not have picked a better time to listen to this song.
Yeah.
There's a great episode of BoJack Horseman. It takes place
yeah.
entirely underwater.
Yeah.
And he can't, his helmet, like the microphone in it, it breaks. So he can't communicate with anyone.
Yeah.
So all the dialogue is just obscure, like bubble sounds coming out of his mouth. And I got exactly that vibe listening to this. I watched that literally minutes before I sat down to cover this album. Yes. And I heard this song, and I was just like, I got such a rush to that.
Yeah.
And I love that show, love that episode, by the way.
Yeah.
And so it was just the perfect time. I would have loved this song regardless, honestly.
Yeah.
The affects that it has in it,
It's funny.
it really captures the subterranean feel.
Yeah, it feels underwater.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of hit me in a similar way because, like, I was just in the car looking out the window.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just looking at the same trees.
Yeah.
And it just worked really well with that. Like, situationally, it fit super well.
Yeah, just kind of hypnotic and, like, kind of swirly. And just the layers keep
I was going to
building
say, the guitar and the arrangement is just amazing.
And it does that thing you were talking about where they just kind of peel back all the layers at one point. And there's that one, like, little, like, electric piano thing just kind of, like, pulsing.
Yeah, I think it was in this song, like, it seemed like, I don't know how to describe this, because there's only one guitar player, right? Well,
no, there's two.
Okay, gotcha. I was going to say, because if I'm thinking of the right song, it seemed like there was this weird sound on, like, the far left channel, but the same guitar part was playing in the far right, but, like, a totally different tone.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's like one input, but like split into two totally different sounds.
Yeah.
Completely opposing each other.
It could be like the same, well, yeah, maybe they just doubled the part.
It was like the tone just got stripped apart, and it was like part of it's here and part of it's here, and I was like, dude, that's wild.
Might be like a stereo amp or something. I don't know.
It's crazy.
But yeah,
I
lots
really
of guitar
liked that.
layers on top of each other.
Yes.
I really like that.
Yep.
And also starts with that tight drum beat. Beginning, very dead sounding drums.
That is hard to describe. I used some adjectives that I'm not too proud of. I just had like quick and like dry. I couldn't think of what to say.
That works. Dry?
Just
dry with fishes. I like that. All I need.
Yeah.
It's kind of back to that fat, fuzzy bass sound.
I love
and the
this one.
keys.
Yeah.
Is there a glockenspiel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I was like,
Either a glockenspiel or some kind of electric piano.
They had several synths for the song, I think.
Bell.
But there was a glockenspiel.
Yeah. And the piano too.
Yeah.
I like how the pace picks up towards the end.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
It goes hard.
Enjoyed that. Yeah. I was like, ooh,
crash cymbals.
Yeah.
And just,
yep. Yeah, just it's like the amount of things that happen over the span of how long is the song? 5-6 minutes?
Yeah.
It didn't feel that long,
like,
honestly.
It's just funny, like listen to the first 30 seconds and listen to the last 30 seconds.
Right.
And it's like, this is the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I like that.
I'm not sure which guitarist did this, but one of them, I think he had like 4 E strings on his guitar to give that real thick sound on the song, and I thought that was really, really cool. I'm not sure which one it was.
Which song?
No, which guitarist.
Oh,
Greenwood,
okay.
and I think there's one more. It's O'Brien?
Yeah.
4 E string.
Ed O'Brien.
Yeah, it had the guitar had a noticeably, I thought for a second it might have been like a Kato or something, but I'm like, that can't be it. There's got to be something. And it's a very dense sound off that guitar.
And that's definitely what it is, 4 E strings?
Yeah, if the
That's
review
wild.
I read from Variety is correct.
I can see that. I'm trying to remember the guitar in the song, because all I can think of really is the
glockenspiel.
Well, in that heavy synth bass that kind of drives the whole thing.
Yeah.
The fat fuzzy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back because like there's just so much going on. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
can't
it's
remember
understandable.
that. Yeah.
That's the problem with stuff like this is for a first time through, it's just so hard to take it all
Sure.
in and then go
Absolutely.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, There's so much missed, I feel like.
Yeah, but just makes listening again more fun.
Right.
More incentive to go back.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
So it's a
Yeah.
good move on their part.
Yeah,
I liked that they kept the string section around for a few
There's
minutes.
a lot of strings in this album.
Yeah. Yep.
Like real symphonic.
Come right back in Faust art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like this song.
Yeah.
It's different, very stripped down.
I was going to say,
Very simple.
the acoustic is, I mean, it sounds like an acoustic, obviously, but like the strings have a really dark sound, which I thought was a nice contrast to the acoustic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even if you're playing dark stuff on an acoustic just sounds light-hearted.
It does. It's soothing hearing an acoustic guitar.
But the strings are just like so dark.
Yeah, it could be the way it was mic'd or the type of strings, type of guitar.
Yeah.
But very full and warm. I like this song. Kind of reminds me of the Beatles for some reason.
I was thinking that.
Yeah,
I almost wrote that down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just something with that, the string going on in the background reminds me of something they would do. The stripped down acoustic. It's like if Tom York were in the Beatles.
Yeah, I could see that.
Dug the song.
Yeah.
It's-
I really like this is all I put on this one, but I really like the progression on Reckoner.
Ooh. Yeah.
I looked at the credits. I hadn't before this album, and I'm trying to stop doing that before I listen to the album. I was sure I was going to find John Frusciante on the credits for this song.
Oh.
The meandering, kind of like clunky guitar. It reminded me so much of Chili Pepper. Him specifically.
Oh, I think I know which song you're talking about. Like, well, keep going.
That's the kind of just something just kind of meandering style of the guitar in this song really reminded me of him. I haven't listened to Chili Peppers in a while, so I don't know why that guy was on my mind, but that's who I thought. And I mean, 07. I mean, I have to think that they're aware of each other, but
Stadium.
I guess
Stadium.
yeah.
I imagine it's that kind of clean Strat sound.
Yeah.
Yep. And also, are you thinking, what's the song that's like the Scar Tissue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It kind of has a little bit of similar riff to that.
Yeah.
Could see that.
Yeah. Also, weird timing on, like, they do a lot of like kind of musically simple ideas, but like the timing is weird.
Yeah.
This guitar riff is kind of hard to follow.
Yeah.
I think the coolest part of the song is the percussion at the beginning. Just kind of that snapping sound.
Frosty.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Frosty.
I like it. Yeah, very, very frosty.
Yeah.
In like both ears, very wide, like open, kind of echoey room.
Yeah.
I don't know what all that is. Like, it sounds like castanets or something, like echoing.
Mm-hmm.
Cymbals. I love that. And then I feel like this one takes some of the most unexpected turns of any of their stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very strange. I thought York going falsetto was a nice touch.
Yeah. He's got a great falsetto.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of falsetto on this album, but he also kind of goes back to like his kind of abrasive kind of sounding voice sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. House of Cards.
Buzzy guitar.
I said didn't do much for me. This song.
Yeah.
It's the only one I felt that way on.
It doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
It felt laid back to me.
It is.
And maybe that, I get it's definitely the intent, but it definitely did not stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like a House of Cards.
No
substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That was a pass for me on that one.
I love the guitar tone at the beginning. It's so like warm and like chunky.
Yeah.
And then the thumping like bass sound. I don't know what that is, but it's like very like echoey, and I've never been able to. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a vibrating. I don't know. Very. This album's like made for headphones.
Oh yeah.
This band, man.
Yeah.
Get the band.
Just get
Exactly.
headphones.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beats by Radiohead.
Oh my god. They would never.
No.
Ear candy.
Ear candy.
Or is that
Skull
what-
candy.
Okay,
Skull
yeah.
candy.
Skull candy. Yeah. Skull Candy by Tom.
The
Jigsaw Brawl.
I actually hadn't heard this song, but the older brother tried to learn the guitar part for this song.
Jigsaw falling into place.
I picked up that riff immediately.
I like this track.
This one, yeah.
Dark feel right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of Weird Fishes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, the voice at the beginning is just kind of like,
Yeah, the flat singing I'm not always fond of, but I think York pulls it off just fine on this one.
Yeah, just kind of the droning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool song.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Not like a standout track to me, but
no.
And some more acoustic guitar, which
Yep.
I feel like I always kind of think of Radiohead as like moving away from guitars as they went on, but they kind of got back to it, especially on this album.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weirdly like accessible album, even though it's so weird at times. Like
it's weird how they do that.
Yeah. That's kind of their thing.
I feel like a lot of their stuff is that way though.
Yeah.
Like there's always something for someone.
Yeah. I'd agree. I would be surprised if somebody couldn't find like one Radiohead song that they like.
The thing that interests me in what I just said, now that I'm thinking about what I just said, is it seems like if there's always something for someone on all of their albums, it would be hard to get like a consistently great album start to finish because it's so diverse. Like I feel like you're going to run into, I don't like that.
Maybe.
At some point.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the weakest track on this album is probably the last one.
I know.
I had such flashbacks to the Tourist from OK Computer.
Yeah.
And that it was such a just unexpected way to end the album.
Why?
Yeah. And I laughed at it because I was like, I know that all these albums are supposed to be different, but it kind of struck me that like they're putting what I felt was kind of an underwhelming song at the very end, and it was very
okay.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
Interesting layering towards the end of it. But
Yeah, they were kind of having fun with like Pro Tools or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably not like they put that song there and like they're like, this is a banger.
No.
Like
sure.
I feel like they kind of wanted it to go out like that, kind of like the Tourist, like it's real.
Just fade away.
But even the Tourist though.
I like the Tourist more than this.
Yeah,
I like the Tourist more than this.
Yes, this
definitely.
one is kind of sad and almost like kind of creepy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little ominous. And that weird drum beat, it's kind of slightly like offbeat sounding.
Yeah.
Weird, man.
Yeah.
Videotape.
Not sure about that name.
Yeah, I feel like they're 10 years too late on that. What's interesting is this album came out 10 years after OK Computer. So just think about that. Yeah. Which one do y'all like better?
OK Computer.
Yeah.
I think as an album, I do. I would take
twice.
that album.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not pick OK Computer. I really like this one though. It's like always a fun listen, start to finish. They don't waste a lot of time.
It just makes me appreciate how timeless OK Computer is.
Sure.
Yes.
To be a decade older.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. They definitely achieved some new crazy sounds on this album, I will say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Experimental.
It is worth a listen. Yeah, experimental.
There's this genre word I would probably use.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Art rock.
I saw art pop in a lot
art
of the
pop.
assessments.
Yeah.
And,
I could see that.
Yeah.
Your favorite word? Avant-garde?
Maybe at times.
I
looked up. I was like, what is the definition of that term? And it's experimental.
Yeah.
I think they are deserving of that moniker.
I wonder how they'd feel about that.
Oh.
I bet they like some avant-garde stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like even though they have like elements of that and they're probably into that stuff, like this album it's palatable. It's not like so odd. Like they do some really odd stuff, like on Kid A.
Yeah.
Like that first track on Kid A, I would call that avant-garde.
I love that song.
Oh yeah.
The weird thing is, though, it's like, yes, it's really weird, but it's still accessible.
Yep.
Like, they're really good at that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It's just, there's so many layers. It's like you can peel it as far apart as you want.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
It's pleasing at level 1 and it's pleasing at level 2.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Impressive to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's, maybe it's intentional, maybe it's not, but I mean, it's just amazing songwriting.
Yeah, and you had heard this album before, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first track, 15 Step, always used to annoy me.
Yeah.
And I think it was his vocal at the beginning. It's kind of, I don't know, something about it kind of annoyed me, but I listened to it this time and I was like, man, this is really amazing. Like, I feel like, especially through headphones, and after that intro part, which is growing on me, but there's a lot of brilliant stuff that happens.
What do you think, Stefan? How are you going to rate it?
I gotta say 8, man.
Really?
Even with honestly, if it had it's fine if they didn't want to have a great closeout, but I don't know. Because of videotape, I might put this 9 if it had a better last ending. I was glued to it. I was thinking about it in ways that, no offense, had nothing to do with the podcast. Like it was a joy to listen to.
I take great offense to that, sir.
I'm definitely listening to it again. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I think you're both right. You're both right that whether it's a conscious choice by them or not, there's enough in here that you can like something, and you're right that I can't imagine people can't find at least one Radiohead song that they like.
Yeah.
You should be able to find something.
Sure.
If given the chance. So, and that's it definitely comes through on this album.
Yeah.
And even though there were some tie-ins to OK Computer, totally different experience.
Oh yeah.
Totally different.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
This was a huge album for them. A lot of people consider it their best.
Really?
Yeah. It's a fan favorite for sure. And it was kind of, their like return, like, I don't know, they were done for 4 years and then came back with this.
Was Hail to the Thief not well received?
I feel like kind of mixed, but definitely not as big. Not, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like probably not as successful as maybe a record label would want them.
Yeah.
And this was also when they were on their own label for the first time.
Okay.
So like they were done with the record label after Hail to the Thief, took a break, and then they're like, we're just going to do stuff on our own terms. And they got this. I'd give it a 9. And yeah, I mean, there's very little to complain about here, and I think there's some really amazing music on it. A lot of work put into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Your thoughts?
I'm gonna give it 7.5.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I think it's a very good album.
Mm-hmm.
I probably need to go back and listen to it again, but I just don't see myself ever being like, man, I just am dying to listen to In Rainbow start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate what's going on here, but I think there's 2 or 3 tracks that I would come back, pick out of this to like put into something that I'm wanting to listen to, but no, it's very solid.
Yeah. And this one did grow on me over time.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why it's tough doing their stuff if you've not heard it before. Like I feel like it takes so much digesting that I feel like I'm not giving it a fair rap.
Yeah, there's a lot
just
of
initial
layers in
impression for me, and yes, I have listened to it before, but like this is the first time I like really closely listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impressive. It just, I don't know, maybe I wasn't necessarily in the mood for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, there's so much there.
Yeah.
So much can change your mind about it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
No, it's solid.
Yeah. I think I'd recommend it to anybody unless you're just very against like experimental stuff.
Yeah.
I can see you know, maybe the good intro to Radiohead is either the Bends or OK Computer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the Bends.
Yeah.
It's just a more straight up rock album with some weird elements.
Right.
I could see 15 Step weirding some people out.
Oh yeah.
I liked it.
I
like that
did
song
too.
a lot.
I think it's called 15 Step because that's like the count. Like if you count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. It's real odd. But fun stuff, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on Rainbows?
No, check it out with headphones.
Definitely.
With the lights off.
And if you have an album you'd like to hear us review, drop it in the comments after you've liked, subscribed, and shared this video wherever you want. So we are 3 different ones, and we'll see you next time.